You are standing in aisle 4, staring at the shelves, knowing with absolute certainty that you needed 3 more things. You left the paper list on the kitchen counter, and those items are simply gone. By the end of this 6-minute video, you will build a reusable mental framework. It will allow you to memorize a 10-item list and recall those items in any order you choose. To do this, we are going to use the number shape system. This is a specific technique used in memory competitions to bypass the standard capacity limits of short-term memory. People who perform high-level memory feats do not have different brains. They use structured cognitive scaffolding to give loose data a physical place to anchor. Step 1 is building your pegs. The human brain often drops abstract symbols like numbers, but it is highly efficient at retaining physical objects. We are going to convert your numbers into concrete shapes. This diagram shows our first 3 shapes. Look at the number 1. Picture it as a tall, straight candle. The curve of the number 2 becomes the neck of a swan, and the top curves of a 3 turn sideways to form a love heart. For the next set, the angled lines of a 4 become the sails of a yacht. The bottom curve of a 5 is a sharp metal hook, and the looping bottom of a 6 is an elephant trunk. Finally, the straight drop of a 7 is a walking stick. The 2 stacked loops of an 8 form an hourglass. The 9 is a red balloon on a string, and the 10 is a flat, round dinner plate. Test that immediately. Picture a 4. What is it? It's the yacht. Now the 7. That's your walking stick. The 2, the swan. By mapping these shapes, you have created a 10-point visual index. These points are now available to act as anchors for any data you choose to hang on them. Now that we have our pegs, we need to attach our groceries to them. To ensure the brain doesn't filter these items out, we apply the von Restorff effect. This illustration shows how the effect works. The brain filters out uniform, predictable data, like the static image on the left, but it prioritizes information that is highly bizarre, emotionally intense, or action-packed, like the scene on the right. High-speed memorization is a creative problem, not a repetition problem. Making an item stay in your memory requires you to engineer an absurd, multisensory mental movie. Let's apply this to our list. Item 1 is milk. Peg 1 is the candle. Imagine a full gallon of milk pouring directly onto a giant burning candle. Hear the loud sizzle as the flame is extinguished. Item 2 is sugar. Peg 2 is the swan. Picture that white swan struggling to paddle through a thick, heavy lake of granular sugar, getting its feathers stuck in the crystals. Item 3 is bananas. Peg 3 is the love heart cushion. Revisit the image we built a moment ago. A banana violently piercing the red cushion, spraying yellow juice everywhere. Item 4 is lettuce. Peg 4 is the yacht. Let's distort the scale. Imagine massive, crispy green leaves of lettuce acting as the sails, catching the wind and propelling the yacht across the ocean. Item 5 is tomato. Peg 5 is the hook. Visualize a sharp, cold metal hook piercing the red skin of a ripe tomato, leaking juice down the metal. By transforming these mundane groceries into bizarre, interactive movies, we bypass the standard limits of working memory. Instead of trying to hold the words in your mind, you are now recalling a set of distinct images. Let's finish the list. Item 6 is newspaper. Peg 6 is the elephant trunk. Picture that heavy gray trunk rolling up a newspaper and slamming it down to swat a fly. Item 7 is cheese. Peg 7 is the walking stick. Imagine taking that wooden stick and aggressively smashing a giant, highly pungent wheel of cheese into pieces. Item 8 is butter. Peg 8 is the hourglass. Visualize the physics of thick, yellow, melted butter oozing slowly through the narrow glass neck of the hourglass. Item 9 is bread. Peg 9 is the balloon. Picture a single red balloon lifting an entire heavy loaf of bread straight up into the sky. Item 10 is lemonade. Peg 10 is the dinner plate. See a chaotic overflow of sticky, fizzy lemonade flooding out across a piece of fine china. Think about the volume of absurd, high-definition imagery you have just asked your brain to process over the last 3 minutes. This orchestrated psychological mechanism that makes a piece of information too strange to be filtered out by your subconscious. Look away from the screen for a second. Think of Peg 4. The 4 is the yacht. What was pushing the yacht? The crispy green sails. Item 4 is lettuce. This shows the information is accessible even out of sequence. What was item 8? The hourglass filled with butter. Item 2, the swan swimming in sugar. You have the entire list. Tomorrow, when you need a different set of items, you simply imagine washing those 10 pegs clean with water, leaving them ready to anchor a new list. You haven't just memorized groceries, you have learned to use a reusable cognitive tool that makes list making a visual rather than a verbal task.